Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Arjuna is saying to Krishna, you are the father of this complete cosmic manifestation of the moving and the non-moving. You are its worshipable chief, the supreme spiritual master. No one is equal to you, nor can anyone be one with you. How then could there be anyone greater than you within the three worlds, O Lord of immeasurable power? You are the Supreme Lord. Text number 44. You are the Supreme Lord to be worshipped by every living being. Thus I fall down to offer you my respectful obeisances and ask your mercy. As the father tolerates the impudence of his son, a friend the impertinence of a friend, or a wife the familiarity of her partner, please tolerate the wrongs I may have done you. Text 45. After seeing this universal form, which I have never seen before, I am gladdened, but at the same time my mind is disturbed with fear. Therefore, please bestow your grace upon me and reveal again your form as the personality of Godhead, O Lord of Lords, O abode of the universe. Text 46. See in the text 45 purport, if you see page number 591, fourth or fifth line from the top. This universal form is material and temporary, as the material world is temporary. But in the Vaikuntha planets, he has his transcendental form with four hands as Narayana. There are innumerable planets in the spiritual sky. In each of them, Krishna is present by his plenary manifestations of different names. Thus, Arjuna desired to see one of the forms manifest in the Vaikuntha planets. So Prabhupada says it in the purport. In text 46, O universal form, O thousand-armed Lord, I wish to see you in your four-armed form, with helmeted head and with club, wheel, conch and lotus flower in your hands. I long to see you in that form. Text 47, Lord is speaking here. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Maya prasannena tavarjunedam Rupam param darshitam atma yogat Tejomayam vishwamanantamadyam Yanme padanjena nadrishtapurvam. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, My dear Arjuna, happily have I shown you by my internal potency this Supreme Universal Form within the material world. No one before you has ever seen this primal form, unlimited and full of glaring effulgence. See, if you see the fifth or sixth line below, Prabhupada writes in the purport, no one had seen this universal form of the Lord before Arjuna. But because the form was shown to Arjuna, other devotees in the heavenly planets and in other planets in outer space could also see it. That means the demigods are also seeing that form now. They had not seen it before. But because of Arjuna, they were also able to see it. And then below Prabhupada says here, someone has commented that this form was shown to Duryodhana also when Krishna went to Duryodhana to negotiate for peace. Unfortunately, Duryodhana did not accept the peace offer, but at that time Krishna manifested some of his universal forms. But those forms are different from this one shown to Arjuna. It is clearly said that no one had ever seen this form before. Na drishta purvam. Uses the word na drishta purvam. So this form also included the Kala Rupa. Generally, universal form does not include Kala Rupa. The Kala Rupa is the one form which crushes the head of the soldiers. When Arjuna saw. So you remember I was telling you this universal form is like a development picture, like we do in engineering drawing. You develop the whole universe. The whole universe appears in front of you. How will it look like? So large form was like that. Everything was present in. This was a total. And then here, the next verse, Lord is saying here, Na veda yajna dhyayanair na danair na cha kriyabir na tapo brirugrahi evam rupa shakya aham druloke drashtum tvadanyena kuru pravira. Oh, best of the Kuru warriors, no one before you has ever seen this universal form of mine. For neither by studying the Vedas, nor by performing sacrifices, nor by charity, nor by pious activities, nor by severe penances can I be seen in this form in the material world. So he is calling Kuru Pravira, means oh best among the Kuru warriors. Because when the Lord manifested a universal form to Duryodhana and all the other assembled people in the Sabha, they all ran away out of great fear. But here Arjuna is bold enough to ask questions to that form. So he is calling him as a Kuru Pravira. Text 49. Mate vyathama chavimudha bhavo drishtva rupam ghoramidrukmamedam vyapetadhi pritamana punastvam tadeva me rupamidam prapasya. You have been perturbed and bewildered by seeing this horrible feature of mine. Now let it be finished. My devotee, be free again from all disturbances. With a peaceful mind, you can now see the form you desire. So there is a important point Prabhupada writes in the purport here. In the beginning of Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna was worried about killing Bhishma and Drona because they were his grandfather and master. But Krishna said that he need not be afraid of killing his grandfather. Why? Because when the sons of Dhritarashtra tried to disrobe Draupadi in the assembly of Kurus, Bhishma and Drona were silent, and for such negligence of duty, they should be killed. So in this way, Krishna showed how Bhishma, Drona, all are being killed in that universal form. And he wiped off the fear of Arjuna to kill them. And then Sanjay is speaking here. Sanjay uvacha ityarjunam vasudevastapotva swakam rupam darshayamasa bhuyah ashvasayamasa cha bhitamenam bhutva punah saumya vapur mahatma. Sanjay said to Dhritarashtra, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, having spoken thus to Arjuna, displayed his real four-armed form and at last showed his two-armed form, thus encouraging the fearful Arjuna. Still points in the purport. When Krishna appeared as the son of Vasudeva and Devaki, he first of all appeared as four-armed Narayana. But when he was requested by his parents, he transformed himself into an ordinary child in appearance. Similarly, Krishna knew that Arjuna was not interested in seeing a 400 form, but since Arjuna asked to see this 400 form, Krishna also showed him this form again, and then showed himself in his 200 form. The word Saumya Vapuhu is very significant. Saumya Vapuhu is a very beautiful form. It is known as the most beautiful form. when he was present, everyone was attracted simply by Krishna's form. So, that saumya form Krishna is showing in the next verse. And Arjuna is, and then Krishna shows the two-handed saumya form. Arjuna uvacha Vishtvedam manusham rupam Tava saumyam janardana Idanimasmi samvrittaha Sachetaha prakritim gataha. When Arjuna thus saw Krishna in his original form, he said, "O Janardana, seeing this human-like form, so very beautiful, I am now composed in mind and I am restored to my original nature." You could read the text 52 also. It has a connection to the 51. Shri Bhagavan Uvacha Sudurdarshamidam Rupam Drishtavanasi Yanmama Deva Apyasya Rupasya Nityam Darshana Kankshinaha. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "My dear Arjuna, this form of mine you are now seeing is very difficult to behold. Even the demigods are ever seeking the opportunity to see this form, which is so dear." So in this way, Krishna, after showing the universal form, which also he called to be very rare, now he is showing a 400 form and then a 200 form. Sudurdarshamidam Rupam. So this form, Krishna says, this 200 form of Krishna, which you see in front of you, is very rare to understand. It's very rare to see, he says. Although the common populace may think that the 200 form of Krishna is very easy to see, and 400 form is a little great, and Vishwabhudarshan is the greatest. One may think like that, isn't it? But earlier, if you remember, going back to that verse which we read earlier, he said, Jnana yajnena chapyanje yajanto mamupasate ekatvena pritatvena bahuda vishwato mukam. So 3 categories we studied earlier. Jnana yajnena cha api anye. Anye means the others. Just like if I say, I brought a special cake. So I say that, please give this cake to Radhe Prabhu. And then the balance you give it to others. And you say like that, isn't it? So what do you infer from this statement? What did you understand? Yeah? Cake is more important? Yeah, that means this person is very important for me. And then if the balance is there, you can also give to others like that, isn't it? So we all have somebody whom we consider special. Naturally, we give prime importance to that. And then the others, when you say it, that means it's not very important. Similarly, Krishna says, my devotees are called as Mahatmas. Mahatmanas tamam partha daivim prakritim ashritam. And Krishna goes on describing about them in 2 verses. Pajanti ananya manaso nyatva bhutadim avayam. They constantly think of me. And then satatam kirtayan tomam. They always sing my glories. Yatantascha. They also endeavor, not that they are lazy. Yatantascha. Dridhavrataha, with great determination like Prahalad. Namasyantascha. They offer obeisances to me. Mam bhaktya, with great devotion. Nitya yukta. Don't think they ever get tired in devotion service. They are constantly engaged, 24 hours a day, throughout the year, throughout their life. Nitya yukta upasate. They worship me like that. So in this way, Krishna glorifies the Mahatmas. And after talking about the Duratmas and Mahatmas, then Krishna says, Jnana yajnena cha api anye. Anyway, there are also other category of people who don't worship me directly, but they worship me indirectly. And amongst them he says 3 categories. Who are they? Ekatvena, pritatvena bahuda, vishwatomukam. 3 categories he says. So the lowest is the Ekatvena, one who thinks I am God. He is trying to understand God's quality by understanding his own quality of the Brahman. So he is the lowest, Ekatvena. Pritatvena bahuda means they worship different devatas. And vishwatomukam, the worshippers of the universal form. So they are included in the anyana category, which means the universal form is not considered to be of so much importance for a devotee, because this form appears only in the material world. It does not exist in the spiritual world. So what is Vishwarupa Darshan? It's a sum total manifestation of the whole universe, universal activities in one form of the Lord. So for a common man who has more trust in his senses and who becomes attracted by grandeur, for him this universal form may be appearing very great. But for a large devotee who is in a compact of love with the Lord, for him the universal form is not that great. He is not attracted to that. So Arjuna, after saying this, although Arjuna demanded in the beginning, you show me that form, after Krishna showed it, now Arjuna is saying, better you wind up. I am not interested anymore. This is not what I wanted to say. Enough is enough. Now I want to see that Saumya form, 200 beautiful form, he says. So that's why Krishna shows the Vishnu form, the 400 form of Vishnu first, and then he shows the 200 form. Now one may think, there are people who argue that because Krishna showed the 400 form and then he showed 200 form, some people think that maybe Krishna is coming from Vishnu. Some people wrongly conclude like that. Actually, originally Krishna was there in the battlefield, isn't it? In the chariot, riding the chariot. So he expands as Vishwarupa, he also shows the Vishnu form, and ultimately is remaining as the same Krishna as before. So all the forms that we see, they originate from Krishna only. All the multiple forms of the Lord, they originate from Krishna. In fact, in order to gain a deeper understanding of relationship between Krishna and Vishnu, we can understand from the past tense of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. One time, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu seemed to be very angry. So Advaita Acharya asked him, my dear Lord, what is the offense of Mukunda? Why are you upset with him? He said, because he is attracted to the form of Narayana, the 400 form of Narayana. And Advaita Acharya asked him, is it wrong? What is your opinion about this? And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, the original form of the Lord is Sri Krishna, the 200 form of Krishna. Of course, if Lord Krishna wishes, then he may expand as Narayana into many, many Narayana forms. Lord may expand. So, it is the nature of the soul to be spontaneously attracted to the 200 form of Krishna. But this Mukunda, he said, what to speak of him becoming attracted to Narayana? He is also attracted to the speculative process of impersonalism and also materialism. So Mahaprabhu condemned him. So Advaita Acharya prayed to Lord Chaitanya, please kindly place your lotus feet lotus feet on the head of Mukunda, so that he gets the cooling shade of your feet, by which he will gain spontaneous attraction to Lord Krishna. So in this way Advaita Acharya prayed. So we find in this conversation that Lord Chaitanya was very strongly, spontaneously attracted to Krishna. The reason was that, as you know very well, Lord Chaitanya is none other than Krishna appearing in the mood of Srimati Radharani. So naturally Srimati Radharani is attracted to the form of Krishna. So here Lord Chaitanya is exhibiting the same mood in scolding Mukunda. Although Mukunda is the most dearest devotee, one of the dearest devotees of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, his close associates. But Mahaprabhu is admonishing him here, owing to his own intense love that he is experiencing in the heart for the 200 form of Krishna. Like that. So in many places, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu talks about the comparison between this 400 form and 200 form. When he went to South India, went to the place of Venkata, and he stayed during the Chaturmas period. Venkata was considering himself very fortunate to serve Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu for those few months. And when a conversation ensued between them, Lord Chaitanya quoted a verse and asked him, you see, the gopis of Vrindavan, they are always attracted only to the beautiful form of Rajendra Nandan, Krishna, Yashoda Nandan Krishna. On the other hand, the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi, she is attracted to the beautiful form of Krishna. While you never hear anywhere that the gopis are attracted to the Narayan form, but you can easily know from the scriptures that even Goddess of Fortune was attracted to the beautiful form of Krishna, standing in a threefold bending form, playing on his flute. He asked him why. Venkatapata said, "My dear Lord, what is the difference between Krishna and Narayan? They are the same persons. If you see according to Tattva viewpoint, there is no difference. According to Tattva, Narayan and Krishna are the same persons, manifesting different modes. But still, you only can explain. You please explain." He requested him. So there was a conversation that ensued between them. So we can easily see that Goddess of Fortune Lakshmi, who always serves Lord Narayana by serving his feet, always. When he sees the same Lord Narayana in the form of Krishna, in a threefold bending form with four added qualities of, like we say, Venu Madhuri, playing on his flute, Rupa Madhuri, instead of standing erect, he stands in a threefold bending form. And Leela Madhuri means he is always surrounded by his devotees, performing spontaneous, playful, humorous pastimes with his devotees. What is the fourth one? Bhakta Madhuri. What is the Bhakta Madhuri? Surrounded by his devotees. Yeah. He's never alone, like Paramatma. So she is attracted by the qualities of the Lord. So it is explained very vividly how this Goddess of Fortune, see, the word Goddess of Fortune means she is the most fortunate, but she once considered herself not so fortunate, because she felt that the gopis of Vrindavan are more fortunate to have such kind of intimate loving relationship with Krishna. See, there is such a gulf of difference between the Braja Bhakti and the Bhakti of the devotees of Narayan towards Narayan, or even Ram, devotees of Ram towards Ram. That's a big difference. Because, as it was explained in one of the verses before, there is Aishwarya Jnana Mishra Bhakti, we call it. Aishwarya Jnana Mishra Bhakti means it's in Vaikuntha, Dwaraka and Ayodhya, in all these places. Aishwarya Jnana Mishra Bhakti, which means the Bhakti is tinged with Aishwarya Bhav. Aishwarya means reverence, a very great respect. Jnana Mishra means also there is a knowledge that this is Lord, He is very great and I am subordinate, I am insignificant, I have to bow down to Him and serve Him, like that. So this is Aishwarya Jnana Mishra Bhakti. But the Vrajavasi's Bhakti is called as Jnana Shunya Bhakti. Jnana Shunya here doesn't mean they are foolish. Jnana Shunya Bhakti is the Vrajavasis are covered by Yogamaya, by which they are put into a kind of consciousness by which they don't know that Krishna is God. They treat Him as a friend, or as a lover, or as a parent, like that. So that is why it's considered very intimate. And that is the reason why Krishna sometimes gets human chastisement from his friends, or even from the gopis, or from the parents. And the way they deal with him is very intimate. So once when Goddess of Fortune, Lakshmi ji, when she saw how the gopis and gopas of Vrindavan are so intimate with the Lord, she became very attracted by their intimacy. She thought that, we have never seen such intimacy in Vaikuntha. She thought how nice it will be if I can also enter this pastimes. I can also enter this residence pastimes and perform such spontaneous love like the Vrajavasis. That was her desire. So she was curious to know, is it ever possible for anyone to enter into this Vraja pastimes? Sometimes before that, once Lord Shiva also desired like that. So Lord Shiva had a desire that I want to enter into this rasa dance with Lord Krishna. So when Lord Shiva desired like that, when he approached the Rasasthali, that was Lalita Sakhi, she told him, better you take a dip in the Mansarovar and come. So when he took a dip in the Mansarovar, he found himself turned into a gopi. So he became called as Gopishwar Shiva or Gopeshwar Mahadev, we call him. And Krishna gave him the service of protecting the Rasasthali. That's why even today you go near the Rasasthali, you will find at the entrance you will find there is a Gopeshwar Mahadev temple where Lord Shiva is in the form of a gopi, like that. So Lord Shiva Because anyone who enters into the pastimes of the Lord should be free from the Purusha Bhav, should be free from the notion that I am an enjoyer. Lord is the only enjoyer. Everyone else is a female. Everyone else is Prakriti. So anyone who either thinks that they are Purusha or they are enjoyer, or they hold on to the idea of being a queen or a king or holding on to their Aishwarya, then they will not be able to enter into the Vraja mood. It is not possible for them. It's impossible. Because if you see the Vrajabasis, their daily life, if you see, they are churning butter, they are churning buttermilk, they are milking the cows, they are bathing the cows. You see, they are very, very simple activity. They are like just village girls, carrying pot of buttermilk from one place to another, and cooking for all the time remembering Krishna. So they lead very, very simple lives. So when Goddess of Fortune saw all these activities, she was wondering, oh, this is too much. She always was having a bhav that I am queen of Vaikuntha. That was very difficult for her to give up. That was her mood. So she was trying to find out whether she can enter into this Rajastali. So on the east side of Yamuna, you will find there are many forests, like Bandiravan, Bahulavan. They are all on the east side. There is also a place called Bilvavan, which is called Shrivan or Lakshmivan, they call it. So Goddess of Fortune was present there. Even today there is a deity of Lakshmi. If you go there, you will find. So she came up to the banks of Yamuna from Bahulavan, and she could not cross Yamuna, because on the other side of Yamuna there are other forests of Vrindavan, where actually the wonderful pastimes of Krishna go on, especially the Rasa dance. So Goddess of Fortune could not cross Yamuna, not just because there was water in between, and that could be another reason. But the main reason was that she could not enter into the mood of the gopis. The bhav of the gopis was unreachable for her, because she found them extremely simple and innocent and pure-hearted, and they never thought of themselves to be great. But although she was ready to perform any severe penances, all those penances were of no avail, because she could not assume that particular mood necessary to enter into Rasastali. So she came back to Bahulavan. She came up to Bilvavan. In Bilvavan again she came back and she sat there in meditation, in yogic trance. So when we perform meditation, generally you find somebody sitting in a yogic posture in Padmasana. So she was also sitting in Padmasana. And we may have a jnana mudra like this when one performs some dhyan. But instead of keeping her finger like this, you find the deity there, that she is having a folded palm like this. You will find her. You will never find somebody perform meditation with folded palms like this. So it indicates that although she is performing austerities and penances, she is actually praying towards Vrindavan, to the Brajabasis, that you all are very great souls, that you are having the good fortune of being associates of Krishna. But I am not so great, so I seek your mercy. So like when you say, please, somebody, you fold your palm like this, isn't it? So she is in this posture. Please, give me your mercy. Like that. So in this way, she is offering a prayer. This is the kind of unique deity you have there. Generally you find the Lakshmi deity always with Narayan, isn't it? There is Narayan and Lakshmi together always. And how do you find Lakshmi's deity? Either she is keeping her hand like this, or she is showering gold coins, isn't it? Or you will find always the Shakti's deity, this is like Karuna, mercy, showering mercy on the followers. Whereas here Lakshmi is not in a mood of giving mercy or giving coins. How is she? She is having a posture like this. That is why it's a very unique deity. So it is said that even Goddess of Fortune, Lakshmi ji, becomes bankrupt when she comes to Vrindavan. It is said when she comes to meet the Vrajabasis. See here, there is a very nice verse from the 10th canto, 10.16.36. 10.16.36. This is a prayer by the Nagapatnis. They are praying to Krishna dancing on the hoods of kāyaṁ. Kasyanubhavosya na deva vidmahe tvām sparashādhikāra yadvāñcaya śrīlanana charattapo vihāya kāmaṁ suchiram dritavrata. So this is a very nice verse. The Nagapatnis are singing Kasyanubhavosya na deva vidmahe. Vidma means to know. Kasyanubhavosya na deva vidmahe. My dear Lord, we do not know what our husband Kalya has done in the previous lives. What kind of punya did he do in the previous lives? That tava angri renu. Tava angri means your lotus feet. Renu means dust. The dust particles of your lotus feet, sparashādhikāra, and that is touching his head, your lotus feet. But we know how rare are those dust particles in your feet. How rare is getting the shade of your feet. How do we know that? They are saying, Yadvāñcaya Shri. Who is Shri? Lakshmi. Yadvāñcaya means desire. Yadvāñcaya Shri Lalana Charattapo. So this greatest goddess of fortune, Lakshmi, she performed severe penances to achieve the rest of your feet. They are telling Krishna, Vihāya kāmaṁ, giving up all other desires and aspirations. Suchiram vrita vrata. Chiram means very long period of time. Suchiram means very long period. Hundreds of thousands of years she performed penances in order to get the dust of your feet on her head. Lakshmi performed penance. So in Bilvavan, Lakshmi is performing penance there, last days, sitting in this posture, as confirmed by the Nagapatnis. So 5,000 years ago, they sang this poem, knowing that even Lakshmi ji is performing this penance to enter in the pasyam of Krishna. So, in this way, the Brajavasis are considered the greatest and most wealthiest people, because the real wealth is Krishna Prema. In one of the conversations between Lord Chaitanya and Ramanand Rai, so Lord Chaitanya is asking a question. Sampatira madhya jiver kona sampati gani? He is saying Sampatira madhya jiver. Sampatira means wealth. Amongst those who are capitalists, Sampatira means capitalists. Amongst the capitalist jivas, jiva means jivatma. Amongst the capitalist jivas, which capitalist is considered the wealthiest capitalist? He is asking. So don't think Ramandra is going to quote somebody from America. He is saying, Radha Krishna preme yanda sahi bada dhani, he said. So one who has the Radha Krishna prem, he is the greatest capitalist, he says. One who has the greatest wealth. Like that Ramandra gave reply. So here we find the Brajavasis are considered the wealthiest, because even goddess of fortune with folded palms is begging the Brajavasis to offer their mercy to her. In this way, even she is praying to them. That means they are more wealthy, they are in a position to offer her blessings and mercy. And they actually do that. Even today, if you go to Bilvavan, during this month, December or January, it's called as Pausha month. During this month, for the first 4 Thursdays of the month, they have celebration there. A big celebration. Where different Goswamis come and worship this. They come to actually bless this Lakshmi. And all the Brajavasis come. They cross the Yamuna and they come there to Bilvavan to give their mercy to Lakshmi. To bless her that she will get the good fortune of becoming a Krishna's devotee. So they prepare this Khichdi prasadam. Khichdi they prepare in large quantity for thousands of people they prepare. And then they offer it to Lakshmi, and also they offer it to all others also. Like that. It is said the goddess of fortune always accompanies Lord Narayana. So naturally when Lord Narayana gets chapan bhog, she also must have started eating chapan bhog, isn't it? But here you find Lakshmi ji giving up the chapan bhog and eating khichdi. They perform severe penance to achieve Krishna prema. She is performing this tapasya there. On the other hand, you find all the gopis on the other side of Yamuna. They are eating rasagulla, sandesh, rabadi, everything. And they are having a great time in Vrindavan. But Lakshmi is ready to perform tapasya to get a glimpse of this rasa dance like this. So it is said even after performing such penances, she doesn't achieve that great fortune which she is aspiring for so easily. It is said. Actually, she is still worshipping. That is why you find, if you go to Bilvavan, the Radha Raman Goswami, he will be worshipping one Thursday. Another Thursday, Radha Damodar Goswami, Radha Damodar Temple Goswami, he will be worshipping. And Radha Gopinath. Different days you will find different Thursdays, different Chief Goswami Pujaris, they worship actually. And they offer Khichdi Prasad like that during this Pausha month. So she was worshipping, but it is said, when Krishna took note of that, he was very pleased with her worship. But then he observed her queenly attitude, like we say kingly, I don't know what is the right word to use, her queen-like attitude. She could not give up the Aishwarya of Vaikuntha. Although she was ready to perform tapasya, she was not able to humble herself in the mood of the Brajavasis of Vrindavan. Because of which, Lord Krishna told her that you will not be just able to relish the rasa if you come to rasa dance. And then she begged the Lord for an opportunity to reside in his heart as a Srivatsa symbol in his heart. That's why she got a position as a golden lion in the Lord's chest. And then whenever the gopis are not there, then the Lord expands into Narayana, and that time she comes out of his heart and she serves him as Lakshmi, like that. But when the Lord is surrounded by the gopis, that time she is as a Srivatsa symbol, and she could only get an opportunity to behold the beautiful pastimes of Krishna without taking part in them, like that. So in this way, Lord Chaitanya has glorified and explained the great esoteric meaning of the difference between Lord Krishna and Lord Narayana, and the difference, and how this 200 form of Krishna is considered even more fortunate, even more rare, as Krishna says, Su-dur-darsham idam rupam. In fact, when Lord Chaitanya was speaking to Advaita Acharya, he quoted certain verses. See, one verse he quoted from Gopal Tapani Upanishad. He says, Narakriti Param Brahma. He quoted the verse. Narakriti Param Brahma. This is from Gopal Tapani Upanishad. Which means the Supreme Absolute Truth, in its most confidential form, he looks like a two-handed human being. Narakriti Param Brahma. This is from Gopal Tapani Upanishad. Param Brahma. Also he quoted from two more. Srimad Bhagavatam 7:15-75. Srimad Bhagavatam. Gudam Param Brahma Manushya Lingam. There is a verse. Gudam Param Brahma Manushya Lingam, which means Guda means the most confidential. The most confidential secret about the absolute truth, Parabrahma, is Manushya Lingam. Means his form is the form of a human being. So this comes in the 7th canto, 7.15.75. Also he quoted one more, Srimad Bhagavatam 9:23-20. There it comes, there is a word, Paramatma Narakritihi. That means Lord Krishna is Narakritihi, that who appears in the 200 form. He is actually the same person who expands as Super Soul in everyone's heart. That Krishna is the ultimate, like that. So there are many quotes like that. So which he quotes to explain to Advaita Acharya that the 200 form of Krishna is the ultimate. In fact, such a spontaneous love exhibited towards Krishna is the ultimate platform of religion. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very strong in that, because he exhibited the mood of Srimati Radharani. Now, the very same Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who used to live in Jagannath Puri, whenever there would be the 15-day period, what do you call that? Avasar, what avasar they call it? Anavasar, yeah. Anavasar means that you won't get darshan of the Lord for 15 days. So during that period, during Snanyatra period, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu used to leave Puri and go to a place called Alarnath, where there is a 400 deity form of Vishnu there. So now one may wonder, how is it that Lord Chaitanya has glorified the worship of Krishna's 200 form, and here you find him leaving Jagannath and he is going and worshipping a 400 form. What makes him go there? In fact, Alarnath is 14 kilometers from Puri. Rather than having to go to Alarnath and spend his time there in those 15 days, he could have easily gone to Tota Gopinath, isn't it? Which is more nearer. And he could have taken darshan of Gopinath there. What is so special that Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is going there. It is said Lord Chaitanya was so attached to the form of Brajendranandan Krishna that whenever he would take darshan, he would always stand near the Garuda Stambha only. Anybody knows why he would stand near Garuda Stambha only? There is a very great esoteric reason behind it. Yes? He's saying he would get excited that he may feel ecstatic and he may fall unconscious, so he would not go near. That's one of the reasons. Yeah, but there is one another reason. They are saying that he felt himself unqualified to go near and take darshan. No, that is also not the reason. There is one. He says, Sarvabhattacharya told him not to go. All these things are very nice guesses. But there is an answer behind this. Answer is, even today if you go, you will see, if you stand in Garuda Stambha and see, you can see only Jagannath. You will not get to see Baladeva or Subhadra. That is also there, yeah. Yes. It is said, because he was always in the mood of Srimati Radharani, he wanted to take darshan of only Jagannath. So if you stand in Garuda Stambha, you will get darshan of only Lord Jagannath. And he would stand like this, even his 3 fingers imprints you can see in the Garuda Stambha even today. And on the ground also you will see his thumb impression, his finger impression of the feet. Out of intense ecstasy, seeing the Lord from there, you can see that. But then when he came to Alarnath, actually I was telling you this point, side point, because he touched the Garuda Stambha and his body would be so hot in great ecstatic separation that even the stone would melt and you could see the impression, finger impression as well as the leg impression on the ground. But then when he went to Alarnath, when he was in separation from Jagannath for those 15 days, so there he went and offered obeisances to Alarnath. There is a place even today you can find where there is a whole body impression of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu on the ground. Now one may get a question, how is it that he got such ecstasy seeing this 400 form? Although he was scolding Mukunda for worshipping that 400 form, isn't it? So that can arouse curiosity in anybody's mind. So anybody who knows the esoteric pastime behind this deity of Alarnath will know why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went to Alarnath. One will know that. Lakshmana Saraswati in 1934, he explained also, and this is quoted in Ujjwala Nilamani and many other scriptures, like Krishna, Kavi Karnapur also has written many other places, the same pastime is quoted by Rupa Goswami also. So, he was explaining this pastime. He said that one time when Lord Krishna was dancing in the rasa dance with the gopis, all of a sudden he wanted to perform some mischievous activity. So what he did, he disappeared from there. And all of a sudden he disappeared from there and he went to a place called Paita, that's a place. And all the gopis, they all were greatly missing him. They were searching here and there, just like we read in the Krishna book. How when Krishna left the dancing arena, all the gopis were searching. Like that, in great anxiety, they were all searching. So at Paita, Krishna was standing in a 400 form. So standing in a 400 form with Shankh, Chakra, Gada, Padma. So at a distance when the gopis saw the bluish form of the Lord, they came running there. And then when they came nearer, they found it was a 400 form of Vishnu. And they were not interested. Anyway, they offered obeisances. And then asked Vishnu, can you tell us, did you see Krishna in which way he went? Did you see him passing by this way? So in that way they were inquiring from him and Vishnu showed the direction and they proceeded further. Like that. So this goes to show that a devotee is not even attracted by the 400 form, Aishwarya form of the Lord Vishnu. And all the gopis went one by one. And at last Srimati Radharani came in search of Krishna. When she came and Lord saw her and her eyes were brimming with tears, and Lord could see her heart palpitating with intense loving emotion. And seeing that, the Lord could not restrain himself and his 2 hands melted away and again he became two-handed Krishna. Like that. So Krishna could not hide his identity, especially in front of his topmost devotee Srimati Radharani. And that is a place in the place Paita where Krishna showed this kind of pastime. So the Alarnath deity which is worshipped today, that is actually Krishna pretending to be Vishnu. How do we know that? We can know that by the puja that is going on for hundreds of years, thousands of years this puja has been going on for the deity. It's a very, very old deity. And the puja that is done even today, if you find the two mantras they chant, these are the two mantras they chant. Klim Krishna Gopijana Vallabhaya Namo Narayana Alaranathaya Naivedya Swaha. See what they chant? Klim Krishna Gopijana Vallabhaya. Means, so the Supreme Personality of God is Sri Krishna, who is a Gopijana Vallabha, who appears as Namo Narayana Alaranathaya. Alaranathaya means Alvar. Alvar is called as Alar is called. Alvar Nath means Alvars are great devotees of Lord Narayana, and some of them are Lord Krishna's devotee also in South India. So when you call Alvar Nath, it means Narayana. So Namo Narayana Alvar Nathaya Naivedya Swaha. Please accept this Naivedya. Oh Krishna, who is actually Gopijana Vallabha, who becomes Narayana here in this deity form, please accept this Naivedya. That's what they chant. Another prayer they chant is this. Klim Gopijana Vallabhaya Vidmahe Gopijana Vallabhaya Dhimahi Tanno Krishna Prachodayat. This is another prayer. Although it is actually 400 form, this is a prayer they chant. Klim Gopijana Vallabhaya Vidmahe Gopijana Vallabhaya Dhimahi Tanno Krishna Prachodayat. So, although externally it's a 400 form of Narayana, it's actually Krishna assuming this form to trick his devotees. So, when Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu left Jagannath Puri and he would come to his Alarnath, in what mood he came? He came exactly in the mood of Srimati Radharani. That is why he comes there, out of intense feelings of separation, to meet the Lord. Just as when the gopis, they lost Krishna, they were searching, and especially Srimati Radharani. So Lord is actually coming in the same mood, and it is said in those 15 days he would be constantly drenched with tears. He would always be leaving tears. And in fact, it is said when Lord Chaitanya came and took darshan of Alarnath like that, and in intense emotion he was praying to him, then immediately again the very same thing happened. Just as what happened to Srimati Radharani, his two hands appeared and he showed Dvibhuja Muralidhar form. He showed him Dvibhuja Muralidhar form. Beautiful Murali he was playing. And then Lord Chaitanya saw that form. That is the time he offered obeisances on the stone. And that stone melted. And today you can see that impression. So when he saw that beautiful form of Muralidhar and offered obeisances. So it is said Jagannath Puri is a place of separation, where you find Lord Chaitanya in the mood of Srimati Radharani is worshipping ecstatic Krishna who appears as Jagannath, isn't it? Whereas Alarnath, it is said there is a double separation there. It said why? Because both Chaitanya Lila and Krishna Lila, they meet there in Alarnath. Because in Krishna Lila, gopis are searching for Krishna. Similarly, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's Gaur Lila is coming. So that is why there is no difference between this Gaur Lila and Krishna Lila. You can see the similarity in both of them. So in this way, Lord Chaitanya proved and glorified this 200 form of Krishna to be the most rarest form to be achieved. The form of Brajendra Nandan, the form of Krishna in Vrindavan, who does not attract his devotees based on his Aishwarya. There is no Aishwarya at all. Krishna is extremely simple. He wears a garland of forest flowers. He wears a peacock feather on his turban. And he wears all kinds of different leaves of the forest. You must have seen in our temple how sometimes devotees decorate Radha Kunjibari like that. Sometimes you come for morning darshan, you find so many kadamba leaves around Krishna, isn't it? They put a beautiful turban, Vrindavan turban, and a beautiful peacock feather. So the Lord looks more beautiful decorated with flowers and leaves than when he is decorated with ornaments and jewelry and costly garments. So this form of Vrindavan Krishna is considered the most rare. So here the Lord is saying the same thing here. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, my dear Arjuna, this form of mine you are now seeing is very difficult to behold. Even the demigods, after seeking the opportunity to see this form, are ever seeking the opportunity to see this form, which is so dear. Here Prabhupada is saying in the purport here, in the 48th verse of this chapter, Lord Krishna concluded, revealing his universal form and informed Arjuna But this form is not possible to be seen by so many pious activities, sacrifice, etc. Now here the word Durdarsham is used, indicating that Krishna's two-handed form is still more confidential. One may be able to see the universal form of Krishna by adding a little tinge of devotion service to various activities like penances, Vedic study and philosophical speculation. That means you can do Jnana Mishra Bhakti, Yoga Mishra Bhakti, Karma Mishra Bhakti, with which one can. That means it is said if your Bhakti is mixed with desire for fruitive results, it's Karma Mishra Bhakti. Actually one reaches Karma Mishra Bhakti when your Bhakti is beyond 50% of karma. That's Karma Mishra Bhakti. If your karma is more than 50%, that's called Bhakti Mishra Karma. It's called. Otherwise Bhakti Mishra Jnana, Bhakti Mishra Yoga. So when do you call it Karma Mishra Bhakti? That means your Bhakti Karma proportion is, Bhakti is beyond 50%. Then that is, karma is less and Bhakti is more. That means you take help of Bhakti, and that's how a karmi gradually becomes a Bhakta later on. So Karma Mishra Bhakti, Jnana Mishra Bhakti, Yoga Mishra Bhakti, they all are taking help from the path of Bhakti. Without the help of Bhakti, all these processes are impossible. They cannot be performed alone. And then Prabhupada says, it may be possible, but without a tinge of Bhakti, one cannot see. That has already been explained. Still, beyond the universal form, the form of Krishna with two hands is still more difficult to see, even for demigods like Brahma and Lord Shiva. They desire to see him. And we have evidence in the Srimad Bhagavatam that when he was supposed to be in the womb of his mother, Devaki, all the demigods from heaven came to see the marvel of Krishna. And they offered nice prayers to the Lord, although he was not at that time visible to them. But they waited to see him. Isn't it? So Prabhupada gives such a powerful example. He says when Krishna was in the womb of Mother Yashoda, there is one full chapter. The demigods offering prayers to Krishna in the womb of Mother Yashoda. A foolish person may deride him, thinking him an ordinary person, and may offer respect not to him, but to the impersonal something within him. But these are all nonsensical postures. Krishna in his two-armed form is actually desired to be seen by demigods like Brahma and Shiva. So this is Prabhupada very wonderfully quotes his example. So there are many pastimes in Vrindavan which happen, how in the Nandagram, when Krishna is born, he's a small baby, Lord Shiva comes to see him. But Lord Shiva comes just like, you see, sometimes outside the house people come. These days nobody comes like that. In those days, they have to they'll play that. Yeah. Then when we would be small children, we wouldn't be fearful, People would be catching their mother's saree, Be fearful when you would hear the sound. Sometimes the early morning or the night he comes, isn't it? So Damaru. Similarly, Lord Shiva came, carrying his Trishul and Damaru. Playing that. He came. And Yashoda became very fearful. She immediately hid Krishna inside. And Lord Shiva came. And you know how Shiva looks like? With his long jata and all snakes around his neck. With the Trishul and Damaru and everything he came. And he came to Mother Yashoda and said, I want to see the child. I want to see Krishna. And she was not ready to allow him. She said no. So she sent him off. So Lord Shiva felt very bad. He became very morose. Of course he went away. He went away to... Which place he went? Anybody knows? He went and sat in one place. Yeah. Only little far away he was sitting. And then what happened to Krishna after that? He got very sick. Krishna got very, very sickly and Yashoda became very afraid. In fact, she thought it's only because the Damaruwala came. My child, he has done something to my child. Because of which my child is suffering now. And she started weeping and crying. And then the others, when they saw the condition of the child, they said, actually, you should take this child to him. You should allow him to see this child. Then, immediately, whatever problem child has, it will go away, disappear. Then she again arranged for Shiva to be called. So Shiva comes back to see the child and he circumambulates and he offers obeisances and he glorifies Krishna. And in this way, even Shiva wants to see Krishna. Narada wants to see. All great personalities want to see. Shiva, you will see the picture in Krishna book. All the demigods in the jail. When Krishna is in the womb of Devaki. All the demigods are coming and offering prayers. Even before they got darshan of Krishna, they are offering prayers. So this goes to show how much eager are they to see Krishna. So that means the 200 form of Krishna is very rare to be seen. But demons like Duryodhana may see it, but they may never know the glory of Krishna. Although they are seeing with the Karna saw it, Duryodhana saw it, Dushasana saw that form. But owing to their envy for Krishna, even Shishupal saw the form. Owing to their envy for him, Lord does not reveal to them who he is. Nāham prakāṣas sarvasya yogamāyā samāvritah mūಢoyam nābhijanāti loko māmadamavyayam. He says, Nāham prakāṣas sarvasya. Lord says, they cannot see me. I put a covering. So they tend to think that I am a human being. In fact, there are a class of so-called religionists who say that you have given this form to God. You have given this 200 form because you all are 200 and you have given a similar form to God. Like you are a Manushya, so you given a Manushya form to God. Some people argue like that. But the scriptures say just the opposite. Like you see in Bible, they say, it says, like we were reading some Sanskrit quotes now from Gopal Tapan Upanishads and Srimad Bhagavatam, that the form of human being is actually a bad imitation of the God's form. God made man in his own image. That is a quote in the Bible. God made man in his own image. Even in the 11th canto of Bhagavatam, there is a quote which says, God made all the different species. After creating all the species, Lord was not satisfied. He thought, anyway, I have done everything now. All the yonis are created for all the species. Now the Lord thought that I should create a very, very special species. And I want to endow that species with a special ability to realize me. And the Lord thought for a while deeply. Then He created the human form looking exactly similar to Him. Like the male and female form are like the Lord's form and His consort's form. Like the Lord and His Shakti. So like that the male and female form are created. Exactly like a replica of the Lord's form. Only it's a very bad copy. You can easily see that how bad this copy is. Isn't it? The metal body is a bad copy of the spiritual body. So God made man in His own image like that. And the Lord said, now this particular human form, I will give the ability for them to inquire about me, to have the rational ability to search for me, to understand religious principles, to take sankalpa vows and follow them, to lead a pure life. And they can realize what is the absolute truth. I'll give them the ability. So Lord gave that ability in human form. That's why amongst all the forms, human form is considered the best. Very, very special form. Very sad. So, this form of 200 form of the Lord, Krishna's 200 form is actually the rarest form. If we develop faith in these things, what we are discussing today, and we develop faith in this 200 form of Rajendranandan, see the problem is, the greatest truths are always simple. But when they appear simple, we also take them simply. That's the problem. We take them very cheaply. That's the problem. So we should not take them lightly. Just like we used to talk about the devotee, sometimes Krishna Prabhu, although he is such a senior devotee, he is 20 years senior to many of the devotees in the temple. But he would come and he would be so friendly. He would come and put his hand in the devotee's shoulder. So I told devotees, when he puts his hand on your shoulder, you don't put your hand on his shoulder. I told them. So similarly, the Supreme Lord, He behaves with His devotees in such a simple fashion. He appears like a simple coward boy, herding the cows, tending the cows and going to forest, eating lunch box with all his friends. What kind of pastimes he does. So we should develop a respectful eye in the beginning. And then when we develop faith in Him, then when that faith manifests as love for Him, then one can come to the platform of spontaneous love. From Vaidhi Bhakti, one can come to Raganuga and Bhava and Prema Bhakti. Like that, yeah. So in this way, Lord is ultimately showing. So we will read the further verses in the next class. And Lord will say how difficult is it for one to achieve Krishna. It's not very easy. Only by bhakti we can achieve Him. We will come to know that in the subsequent verses. Hare Krishna. One question. Yeah, he wants to take darshan of Krishna, yeah. Even Mahavishnu wants to take darshan of Krishna, yeah. Very surprising. Mayavadi is actually write all these stories. I have read it even from Mayavadi books. Only thing is they don't think deeply. Nor do they have the necessary faith to get the bhakti. The Krishna book which Prabhupada published, it has got such wonderful purports by Prabhupada. But if you read Mayavadi books, they also tell Krishna stories as it is from Bhagavatam. But actually, we can understand how a person can be so foolish. After writing such stories, after writing all these things, still one doesn't develop faith in Krishna, I can understand. Yeah, they think it's like any other Purana. They think like that.
In Bhagavatam, up to 9th canto, we always see Vishnu or Krishna in 400 forms. Only in 10th canto, like even for Ambarish Maharaj and all.
He was devotee of Narayana.
There were
Comes
devotees of Krishna.
Actually, there are many, even Prahlad uses the word Krishna, Krishna many times. But he is actually a devotee of Narayana. You have to see like that. There are many devotees like that. Even Bhishma Pitama, he wants to see the Lord in 400 forms. You see, when he sees that he goes to Vaikuntha, he goes. So, there are many, like even in Sri Vaishnavas you will find in South India, there are many who worship the form of Krishna. Like Andal worships Krishna also. So she wants to marry Krishna. Andal. So you will find some of them are worshippers of Krishna and many are worshippers of Narayana like that. So they appreciate Krishna Lila as one of the aspects of Narayana. Some people worship like that. But in Bhagavatam you find, after giving all those pastimes, the 10th canto, a detailed explanation is given about Krishna. Because that's the most confidential. Yeah. The less confidential things are explained earlier, before that. Yeah. Yeah, she said the answer. It is to make a frame of mind better to be able to accept Krishna. Because see, if you see somebody with 4 hands, you have little fear. Must be, certainly he must not be like me, he must be better than me. I have only 2 and he has got 4. You have little, you certainly have more. See, the problem is we always go by greatness, like grandeur. I was saying about the Vishwarupa Darshan, like that, yeah. So he always shows the Vishwarupa, he always shows the Vishnu form, yeah. 10th canto, the pastimes of the Lord are so lucid, so simple, yeah. Yeah. I am in. That is actually. Yes. In the. Correct. Yeah, that's a good point. Actually, Prabhupada writes something to the same effect what you said now. As I am standing before you, Prabhupada writes. Yeah, as I am standing before you. Prabhupada writes about it in the purport also somewhere. That Krishna says that, I, when he says, even Vishwanath Chakravarti writes, when Krishna says I, he is touching his chest and saying, I, this person. I am the very same person. Manmana means this person. Something. Manmana. Antakalisamameva? In the form of Krishna. You remember me in the form of Krishna. Mahamanasmara. In the form of Krishna, yeah. Yes. That is very clear because scripture clearly says Ante Narayana Smriti. You think of, see, Narayana is not Brahman. Ante Brahma Jyoti Smriti. It doesn't say that. Ante Narayana Smriti. It's very clear. Once you think of Narayana or once you think of Krishna. Yeah. Yeah. First the human species comes. I know this. People will ask this question. You see, we have to always see, actually there can be 10 different angles to things. This is explained by Avadut Brahman. He is explaining about the human form. Actually, Lord creates all the yonis, I said, if you heard me well. Lord creates all the yonis. Actually, Lord doesn't create the species. That is done by Brahmaji. Brahmaji gives bodies to everyone. Lord gives the seed to everyone. Yeah. And Lord is the one who takes the souls and puts them in the world. And it's like, you give you give a shell to someone and then he can develop a software around it. It's very easy, isn't it? They make these expert systems. If you give a shell, other things are very easy. Similarly, Lord gives Brahma in the seedling form and Brahma has to just water it, and when he develops, Brahma sees that new nice species are coming. Brahma doesn't have to do anything. So Lord also created all the yonis, but human was not created. At last he created that. But then Brahma he created human beings first. He brought them out first. He created all the different sages from his body and everyone. Yeah. Tomorrow is Ekadashi. Yeah. Yeah.
Because of she cannot give her queenly. So it appears that the living entities are denied entrance into the Vaikuntha because of some different aspects. Similarly, in the Vaikuntha also, to enter into Vrindavan, you should have a particular qualification.
Yes, correct.
So that is also still applicable in Vaikuntha also.
In Vaikuntha also, we have to have achieved a certain type of mood in order to achieve bhava tada sada tad bhava bhavita is. Bhava is the meaning. So you have to have Vraja bhav to enter into Vraj. No. You need a Vaikuntha bhav to enter into Vaikuntha. Like that. And we need a Naraka bhav to go to Naraka. We need all things are based on the bhav. What kind of bhav we are developing. That's a subtle body is more important than the gross body. Yeah, subtle body. Prabhupada says the mind continues, although the forms change externally. Mind keeps on continuing birth after birth. So that's why you have to mold our subtle body to attain a proper bhavana. That's very important. Yeah. Hare Krishna. Thank you.